Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our weekly investor update. I'm your host, Justin Scott, investment banking analyst, and we're happy to be back to bring you another episode of our investor update series. Joining me today is none other than senior investment advisor, Rayan Wright. Welcome back to the program, Rayan.
Well, thank you, Justin.
Excellent. Today we'll be discussing AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited and Seprod Limited, and we're excited to share these insights with you. If you love the content, don't forget to hit like and share the video. And if this is your first time here, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to receive all notifications as we upload content just like this once per week. Also, if you're looking to embark on your first investment journey, you should take that first step with Mayberry. Follow us on social media to learn more about how you can get started today. So, let's kick things off with AMG Packaging and Paper Company. So AMG recently announced their 9 months ended financial report, ended May 2024. So over this period, revenues fell by about 2% from $781 million to $764 million. However, cost of sales have reduced by about 21% from $490 million to $329 million, while direct expenses were actually up 16% from $128 million to $149 million. All in all, this resulted in a 22% increase in gross profits to $286 million. Admin expenses were also up 16% to $97 million, and total expenses, when you add it all up, came up to about $148 million, a 13% increase. After factoring for taxes, the net profit for AMG is actually up 44% over the course of the 9 months to $107 million. This resulted in a 21-cent earning per share and like I said before, a 44% increase in the EPS. Moving on to the balance sheet, their total assets were increased by 3% from $1.62 billion to $1.67 billion, while total liabilities fell 7% from $367 million to $340 million. This is a company that has very lean, very little debt, very little outstanding obligations for them, while total equities now have increased by 6% from $1.2 billion to $1.3 billion. Taking a look at the key statistics, their price is now $3 per share, with a PE ratio of 12.6 times, roughly about a little bit high for where for the junior market and where it is right now, but they continue to trot on. Book value per share is $2.60, so it's trading a little rich for the absolute value of the company's equity. While trading earnings is now up to $121 million. The 52-week high is $4, up from the 52-week low of $1.8. I'll touch on that a little bit more along with the stock price in the latter slides. But overall, with a $1.5 billion market cap, this company is pretty near to, if even the value of just its assets as it is alone, but they continue to trot on and try different things in the market. This is a company that's not very afraid to try different segments. In times gone past, I touched into the toilet paper production, where that didn't work out. They tried to shift into the recycled paper box products, citing the funds saved by previous used paper products to try and upcycle it into new things, to really anything that they didn't use to try and output that as a different line of revenue for them. Since then, they've decided to shift out of that, and I'm sure they're going to have a new venture coming up anytime soon. Additionally, AMG has commissioned a brand new factory at Retirement Crescent in Kingston, doubling its production capacity in the process. And the issue that they were having beforehand with getting raw materials has been curtailed by consistently increasing the amount of revenue that they have on hand. And I think they would have learned that from the pandemic with all the logistical issues they were having in getting products and everything to maintain a set level of inventory. So since then, they've recently tried to increase the amount that they have on hand. They're monitoring the situation closely, so the sales haven't really been significantly affected by the challenges. So roughly they try to have about 3 months inventory in stock, which keeps them going for the next shipment cycle. Since then, they've significantly boosted their inventories, adding over $50 million worth of inventory since the release of the previous article. So we know exactly where they stand right now. It's just a matter of trying to lean into that increased production that they've gotten with the new factory and Retirement Crescent. Moving into the quarter profit movements, we can see here that AMG is fairly consistent in terms of the quarterly profits over the last couple of years, with about $35 to $39 million in each of their Q1s, except that one time in 2023 when they kind of lagged below in $24.3 million. Q2 has been historically a little bit lower for them over the last couple of years, really stepping it up in the second quarter, and then now heading it all the way up to the third quarter now, which is typically pretty fair for them as far as it goes in terms of keeping it more consistently over that $27 million line. Doing pretty well over the last 3 quarters particularly, likely due to the increase in inventories that they've had and trying to increase the production with the aforementioned factory increases. Taking a look now at their share price movement, it tends to trade within a pretty tight range, especially over the last year or so, from about a high of $3.90 to about $3, anywhere within that region. They tend to fluctuate, not doing a whole lot, not doing a lot of volume, because AMG, it just hasn't provided what I think the investors are really looking for right now. They want something fresh. They want to hear something is going to work out significantly to really increase those profits, to really kind of bring them out of where they are right now. So I think that's really what people want to see, and until then it's going to kind of maintain that little band between $3.9, $3, maybe dip a little bit below, but it seems to be pretty consistent within that range. Yeah, that's my view on AMG right now. Ryan, any thoughts on the company?
Well, Justin, I think you hit most of the major points. But one of the things that we looked at from the last presentation on AMG was that if they get the efficiencies right at the current factory and even the new commission one, then we can see a reduction in production costs that would, help them to retain some cash and even help them to reinvest in the business or pay out a dividend. So that could help, boost the price of the stock on the market.
Yeah, man, I agree with that for sure, Ryan. I really agree with the insights there. I think we really just need to see a little bit more from AMG to really push that sentiment. Now we're heading over into Seprod Limited, where Ryan will take over on that charge.
So I'm going to highlight Seprod Limited financials for the term ending March 2024. Some key points we want to look at is the revenue. So the revenue, we say, ending March 2024 was at $28.59 billion. Up 1.5 billion or 6% over the corresponding period. Or look at their cost of sale, also slightly up 5%, closing at 21 billion, up from $1 billion for the corresponding period. Their net profit, however, slightly down 11% over the period 2023. And we look at the finance costs as well, has been up at 28%. Now, Seprod is a manufacturing and distributing company listed on the stock exchange. Seprod has been around since 1940, a household name. They were listed on the stock exchange in 1985. With a lot of history behind them, Seprod continued to look ahead, finding innovative ways to bring new and improved products to their customers and provide value to their investors. The Seprod Group companies have some familiar names, like such as the Facey Group, Surge Island Farms, and AS Bryden out of Trinidad, and CPJ, just to name a few. With these companies, we see that Seprod has made themselves a powerhouse with diverse range of products and services that can satisfy the demands of the current market and emerging one as well. So we're going to switch over to the quarterly performance on Seprod. We see that they have produced very strong quarters. The fourth quarter in 2023 was the strongest, seeing them reporting $997 million in net profits. The stock trades in a tight band, in the 60 to 80 plus band. We see a high point March 8, 2024 here. They traded at $89.52. And July 2023, their price closed at 78.77. The performance of the company over the past 5 years is really a good one, evident in their revenues growing consistently. Seprod has made a recent acquisition of approximately 45% in CPJ through their subsidiary AS Bryden & Sons out of Trinidad. CPJ is one of the largest providers of premium beverages to the hotel and the tourism sector out of Jamaica and also St. Lucia. So that provides Seprod now with additional revenue market. Locally, they have spent approximately $1 billion to upgrade their factory in Bagwalk, and that would meet the demands of their dairy products as well as their other beverages that's sold on the local market as well as for export. There's even news of Seprod collaborating with other Caribbean countries such as Barbados from the Surge Island section of their business to export some cows. So we see that Seprod is really looking to expand their business right across the board and to really be a powerhouse in the Caribbean. With all these acquisitions and upgrades, coupled with a solid management team, Seprod is definitely a company that you want to put in your portfolio. With all these acquisitions and upgrades, coupled with a solid management team, Seprod is definitely a company that you'd want to put in your portfolio. They continue to generate value for the investor, and they continue to be a steady company, growing continually. So that's my 2 cents on Seprod. Justin?
Thank you for that, Ryan. I'm very much interested to see the path of Seprod and its associated band of companies. They're really shaping out to be a major powerhouse, not just locally, but within the whole entire region as it is right now. I'm very much interested in what you were saying earlier as well in regards to the manufacturing, particularly towards how they're working towards their new beverage aspect, really leaning into that just a bit right now. They plan to spend about 1 billion Jamaican dollars or 6 million US into expanding their processing and packaging operations and really leaning into that brand. So as it is right now, they can already meet all the demand, but the intention is to upsize it, increase the efficiency, and to gain new business, perhaps exporting and working to really just close on some more of the market share within the region. I'm thinking very great things for Seprod. I think they have an extremely competent management team, and I know they have the capital. I know they have the market share to continue just drilling into continuously building region, as I said, and moving out even further from there. So I like to see what Seprod is doing right now, because as the tagline says, "Made by Seprod must be good." So, I think that's it for today's discussions. I'd like to thank our viewers for tuning in today. Your support is always appreciated. I'd also like to thank my co-host, Rayan, for contributing to today's discussions. So if you're curious about updates on our Virtual Investor Forum and our Investor Update, then find us on social media. We share our live stream dates and our upcoming guests on our official social media pages. So give us a follow and stay on top of all things firm related. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mayberry Investments Limited, and click the bell to receive all notifications. Keep safe, and remember, wise investors, slow and steady wins the race. Thank you.